take some time, but yeah.
Okay, perfect. Hello, everyone. How are you? Awake? Well, first of all, thank you for having us here. The idea is to show you some products that we are building. But one thing that I will tell you at the end is that it's not that complicated to create this kind of technology. We are doing it with 1.5 developers. So keep that in mind. Part-time, that's what I'm saying, of course. This is the platform that we built. But first of all, I will tell you some things, just in case. Chequeado is a non-profit and non-partisan fact-checking organization created almost 10 years ago, 9 years ago. And the idea is to raise the cost of lying. That is, now in the US you know about this, but it's something very interesting. And we have a long story in Latin America about that. Why we need Chequeado? Chequeado is the name of the platform, as I told you. The idea is that fact-checking isn't cheap at all. To create a fact-check, I used to work in traditional newsrooms. You publish a lot of articles every day. With fact-checks, that is not the case. You maybe have to wait between 2 or 3 days sometimes to wait for the sources to answer you. You have multiple sources by article. So it takes you a lot of time. So that's why we need help. And that's where automation enters. Because we really think that there's a lot of things that the newsroom do every day that can be automated, and there is no value in humans doing that. One thing that is important is that we need to find claims every day to fact check. The claims that are the most important step of the method, because we need that to fact check. So that's an example of a thing that we can do. And we think that in this environment of misinformation is much more important than in the past. This is our method, just in case, and we discussed it with Bill before. Yes, you will see in the next speakers that this is our method. Maybe it's different in some countries, but more or less it's similar to this. So keep this in mind. Usually we select a phrase from the public debate. We weight its relevance, and then we consult the original source, alternative source, and then we get to a rating. I'm just doing it briefly because we don't have a lot of time. But we think that in at least right now 3 of these steps, we can have help from a robot, a software robot, just in case. The idea is that Chequeado can help us select a phrase from the public debate. We will tell you that this method has more than 8 years. So when this method was created, we didn't have any idea about how to create a robot. Weight its relevance. I will tell you how. And then consult the official source. Consult the official source is something that we are starting to do because we need the government to open the data through APIs, and that's not the case all the time. I will move forward. What is Chequeado? A platform that we use daily. This is important, as it's something that Bill said. This is working right now, and actually for more than 2 years. It's not the future. It's happening right now. It's happening in Buenos Aires. It was developed in-house. We started in the beginning doing what we think that matters most, and then we talk a lot with the newsroom. That is a thing that I will suggest a lot to do with your products. Start talking to the user first. Just in case, this is an open source project. Everything that we do, we try to open if it's possible. And now you can watch it in GitHub at Chequeado. What we are building after listening to our users. This one is the tool that we use every day. It finds claims in more than 30 media outlets in Argentina, so we cover the whole country. We have more than 20 provinces or states. So for us, it's important to have that reach and that nothing important, at least, get lost. The other thing that it does, it see what the president says in their presidential speeches and also find the Congress transcription. So if there is a fact-checkable claim there, it finds it. Then text. This is interesting. This is a tool that was asked by the newsroom. they want, hey, maybe there's not in a media outlet, and I receive a PDF with a lot of text, and I want to find claims there. It's something really easy to do, but we did it. So they can copy-paste the text and find the claims. What you're seeing there is in Spanish. It's a highlight, fact-checkable claim. So they have, you saw it, this is a demo I did this week. This is an actual speech from yesterday or 2 days ago. So it's really easy, it's just in 10 seconds, they have the fact-checkable claims. Imagine that two years ago, they have to spend a lot of time doing this. Last year, we did the first live fact-checking with automated speech-to-text, and that is very important. Not all the fact-checkers in the world, but a lot of fact-checkers in the world do live fact-checkings that usually is like fact-checking the state of the union of every country. And imagine that 2 years ago, we need to have 2 or 3 people listening, very valuable people listening to what the president is saying, just to write down what the claims that we are going to fact check. Make sense? No. But that was the case because the technology was not there. And now it is. We did it last year in an abortion debate that we're still having in Argentina. We used that year Full Fact and Speakmatics. That is a charity, a fact-checking charity in UK, and Speakmatics is a technology company in the UK. And this year we're starting to use Google Speak-to-Text. We use it in our State of the Union. This is a screenshot of actually when the president was speaking, the robot was transcribing it. And usually it's really good. Sometimes there are mistakes, but it's much better than having 3 people looking at it. And then it helped us create products really fast. So then we have a partnership with La Nación, that is a big media outlet in Argentina, and we were ready to publish the content much faster and very accurate. That's very important for us. I have 3 minutes, so I'm running. This is something that we think that can help maybe not all of you, but a lot of the people in this room. This is something easy compared to the other stuff, but if you spend time listening to videos in YouTube, now with this tool, you have the transcription in 5 seconds. So you can try to find the claims or whatever you are doing there. It's not only for fact checkers. Look at this, and then you click the phrase, and it finds the exact spot in the video to double check if the robot listened to it correctly. This is low tech because actually the subtitles are in YouTube, but we create this interface. Transcript-o-matic, we call it. And then we create simple and experimental bots. This is really simple. We are experimenting in the Twitter platform. But what if people want to ask us, hey, what was the last fact check about inflation? Inflation rate is something very important in Argentina. So we are thinking on this kind of experiments and if people is going to get engaged with that or not. But it's really easy when you have all the technology built before. Some key learnings, and I'm starting to finish. You don't need a huge team, is what I told you before. We are doing it with Mariano, that is with us 6 hours every day, but he's not doing automation all the time. He keeps our WordPress updated, everything from that to automation. Then open source is great, of course, and collaboration is key, and I know that it's a trendy word, but it's totally real in our case. We learned about this in the Tech and Check conference that Bill put together. It was 3 years ago. And then we started also talking with Full Fact that they made a white paper really interesting related with automation. I suggest you to read that. And then we are also working with Reporters Lab and Latam Chequeado, that is the network of fact checkers in Latin America. Then something very, very important, that we always have a man or woman in the middle. We are not publishing anything. Right now, we don't think that the technology is there to do that. Maybe in the near future, but not right now. Yes. And something for you, amigos. Here you have this. This is beta, but you can use it right now. This is the last tool I show you, where you can transcribe from YouTube. You only have to add the link there. Magic. You have the transcription. This is like a small present from us to you. You have it in Spanish and in English. And of course, it will work in every language. But the interface is built on that. So thanks. If you have any collaboration ideas, I'm here. There's my mail, everything. Thanks.